My name is Thelmar Rosarda. I'm a commander United States Navy.
Last month, Chattanooga native Thelmar Rosarda visited his hometown and talked to a group of students about his career in the United States Navy.
Have you ever been in a room where everybody's a type A? Everybody wants just to talk. Being a captain and being a leader means I need to manage that. So sometimes if somebody has an idea, whether if they're 19 years old or 37, I need to kind of just...
Today on the show, Commander Rosarda tells us about his message when he speaks to young people who are considering their own career in the U.S. military. My name is Josh Roe, and this is Tomorrowtown, Tennessee.
Chattanooga means a lot to me. It's where I've established myself here, learned quite a lot, met some excellent, outstanding people, learned a lot. I went to 4 different schools here. So when I moved here in '96, the first stop was Lakeside Elementary. 6th grade was Tyner Middle. And then 7th and 8th we're moving towards CSLA. And then that is at 8th grade. So at 9th grade, moved over to Chattanooga School for Arts and Sciences. Learned a lot about the PADIA system there and how to speak seminar-wise, ask questions, be civil about it, and have a sense of duty from that end. My family has been in the military for quite some time. My grandfather was a chief in the Navy, and my dad was an Army Ranger. Families all over the military service. I was born in the Philippines, so we had Subic Bay growing up, so I was always kind of around it. I wanted to be an air traffic controller growing up. Ended up being an airman stationed in Guam, so furthest away from Chattanooga, but good experience overall.
He enlisted right out of high school, but Commander Rosarda told me his plan was always to become an officer.
But I knew that required a college degree, citizenship. I had citizenship. There's a program called Seaman and Admiral Program and Naval Reserve Officers Training Corps. I applied for the Naval Reserve Officers Training Corps in high school, and while I was commissioned, so while I was in boot camp, the application was going through. And I was accepted about a year into my enlisted time. So I didn't spend a very long time as an enlisted sailor, just enough to do a couple of missions, get selected. When I was selected, you're allowed to apply to colleges. I chose the Virginia Military Institute out of Lexington, Virginia, and chose to study computer science. And the reason for computer science is I was in IT as well in the Halo Squadron. I was in Guam. So that's how I commissioned. I commissioned in 2009 in May. One of the things that I really cherished here is volunteering at the Creative Discovery Museum. I spent some time there yesterday, and it brought back memories of volunteering, but also tinkering with things in between volunteer sessions. And there's a river area there where you can kind of race boats, which got my interest in engineering kind of growing there. They have a robotic system there now, which I wish they had when I was growing up. But somewhere along the lines that volunteering, my love of math and physics got me into computers. And growing up, there was this system called Mavis Beacon that they taught in elementary school. You kind of just learn how to type, basic typing. But then I got curious into programming, like what makes a video game? I used to play some video games too. So all that put together got me interested in computer science. And it's cool, we learn how to program. So there's a lot of paths in the military career, mine specifically just the Navy. I've had really good mentors that helped shape where and recommend where I should go, where I should be next. And part of it is kind of developing yourself professionally, also personally, because if you're interested in it, you'll stay doing it. And my innate desire for computer science and programming and all things engineering allowed me to kind of, in short duty, stay with that those interests and topics while still being professionally relevant at sea.
Tell me your next step and where you're going now.
Okay, so for a Navy commander, typically we're 15, 16 years active duty, and at that point of our career, we would have done becoming a division officer, then becoming a department head, and each level there has a unique type of leadership, where division officers learn basic management leadership skills, and a department head, you're in charge of a much bigger pool of people and systems. As a department head, I was a chief engineer on 2 different ships. I got a missile destroyer, USS Stockdale, and an amphibious landing ship, USS Somerset, with the Marines. I was a chief engineer on that. Also a tactical action officer, which is the other part of the job where you fight the ship. So you have your billet, the job, the chief engineer, and then you have your watch station where you do for kind of daily watches and operations and general quarters and battles. I did both of those. So if you are successful at that, You then get to be placed on a board, and if you do well, you get selected to be executive officer and commanding officer. I did a little bit of extra tour in between. They have a process called early command, where some ships are commanded by lieutenant commanders, so just one rank below. I applied for it during my department head tours. My captains encouraged it. There's a saying that command early, command often, because as you do it more, you learn more. No one's perfect in the very beginning, and I can still say that now. Learned a ton, made a lot of mistakes too, but you kind of keep working at it and get better. So successful at almost 2 years of a command of that ship. Then during that time, I was selected to be captain again. They call it an XOCO fleet up model, where you serve a certain amount of time as an executive officer, then you become the captain. So I have to, at the end of this month, I will be on board USS Gravely to hopefully assume executive officer and do my best.
You're talking to a group of high school students later today. When you talk to young folks who are trying to plot out their next steps in their lives, what's your message to them?
Be the best. One of the things, so I almost regret not mentioning it to my high school yesterday, is my high school coach was there. And one of the things I was learning, I was playing shortstop, I was playing third base. And he was like, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So iteration and understanding that sometimes things doesn't go your way, adapt, adjust, and then move on, and then get better. So mistakes will happen, stumbling blocks will happen, but it's how you pick yourself up and get better. That combined with understanding that we are not just here, as in you're going to meet people all over the world. And you have to have that open mindset to be able to talk to them and work with them. And sometimes you have to communicate in a certain way, but I think everybody's trying to do the right thing.
Yeah. What did I leave out? I know there's always something that I didn't ask you that you're like, I wanted to say this. What's the thing that maybe I didn't ask that you think is important for people to understand?
I think propensity to serve. One of the reasons why I joined the Navy is, sense of duty, sense of honor, and being in this place, especially looking at the word commitment and sacrifice in front of me, it's really, really cool. Something that I wanted to do for a long time is I wanted to kind of earn my way to be an American, kind of. So the propensity to serve is very important. And you don't have to just do military, right? You can do other things. You can do nonprofits to help serve. You can do state, policy, government, whichever. It's doing something bigger than yourself is very important.
After talking to me, Commander Rosarda spoke with a group of students at the Coolidge National Medal of Honor Heritage Center. This is a portion of that talk.
We're here talking about the U.S. Navy and what we've done over the last 250 years. This being an NJ ROTC, so please ask questions as you see fit, personal, professional. I'm here to help you understand. Also here to come back home to Tennessee and show what I've done from Tennessee to all over the world. I'm sure you guys already know about Chattanooga history. We are the heartland from the very beginning of this town before we even incorporated in the early 1800s. But with that, we have a couple of ships named after US Chattanooga. A steamship, a frigate, and they had to rename the third one, but it was still to me USS Chattanooga. Later on, we created USS Tennessee, encompassing the entire state. That's a battleship that fought in World War II. Super good guns, super powerful battleship, legendary in its own right. And the bottom right there is USS Tennessee, another SSBN blood signal submarine. So the bottom one, the bottom left there is still operating. That's how long Tennessee has been serving our nation in the Navy from the very beginning to the Revolutionary War, Civil War, and now. But we're here to talk about the Navy itself right now. So we operate worldwide. We are, when I was growing up, the phrase to say was, we are America's away team. We operate anywhere, anytime, any place, at any point in time, whenever they tell us to. And we can do it well. We're showing it. We have a warfighting readiness for it. But we operate in the Atlantic, Pacific, and cyber. It's not really shown in there, but we do have a maritime space operations too. So we are the only force that does all of it. We have about 300 ships and hundreds of thousands of active duty sailors. Also, that we need to acknowledge the civilians that work for us and work with us. They are federal employees just like us. As a whole Navy team, we operate everywhere. But why am I here? So, Lakeside Elementary in 1996, I moved to Chattanooga, just trying to learn and adapt and be a child. Tyner Middle School and CSLA and CSAS all taught me how to kind of live in a community. All those middle schools and high school taught me how to ask why. CSAS, I know, works out of a PAIDEA system where you learn how to talk civilly and have conversations. Whether or not you believe one thing over another, you learn how to talk. That's from my schooling there. One of the best things I've taken out of any of these schools is playing sports. Anybody play sports here? Perfect. How about chess? Still a mental sport. But what that does, thank you. What that does is stay competitive. I really like having the competitive drive regardless, because you want to win. And even if you don't win, you want to get better so you can win again or win next time around, right? That competitive spirit is something that's consistent to every single sailor I've met all over the world. From the United States, we all want to win. We all want to do our jobs and be the best at it. So why I joined? Lots of reasons. I'm going to go on a slide later that says I joined to see the world. I did. I also joined to get a college education. But first and foremost, I wanted to serve. I wanted to earn my right. I wanted to say I'm a citizen. I earned my privilege to be here and be part of an American story. Ships that I've served on. So when I first enlisted in Navy, I was attached to a helicopter squadron. Helicopter Combat Support Squadron 25 out of Agana, Guam. I tried my best to ask for a ship in Italy. Didn't get there, went the other side of the world. But the cool thing about a helicopter squadron, and I'll get to the ships, is the first mission I ever did in the Navy was humanitarian service. In 2005, a tsunami hit Indonesia and those islands. And one of the first things I did was help maintain helicopters to lift them to go get save people. That's something that I never really understood until I was doing it to save people, and not just Americans who were there, the entire island. When I was in that squadron, I was fortunate enough to get a commission to a school. So they paid for my college. I have an undergraduate degree in computer science where I learned how to program. I say that because when I commissioned in 2009, I was assigned to a frigate, USS DeWitt out of Mayport, Florida. That ship was named after Richard David DeWitt, 19-year-old kid from Taunton, Massachusetts. Received the Medal of Honor in Korean War for saving lots of Marines. He was 19 years old, and as a corpsman, your job is to help and save people. He went to get the first Marine, heard another call for help, kept doing it multiple times. So that gentleman was a great namesake for a ship. So on that ship, I did counter-piracy deployments. We hunted pirates for 3 years around this area in Somalia. So I have lots of, if you have questions about that, we can talk about Somali pirates in 2009, 2012 area. Followed by that is the USS Stockdale. It's a guided missile destroyer out of San Diego, California. USS Stockdale is named after Admiral James Bond Stockdale, naval aviator, POW. Also a wonderful Navy leader and naval stoic thinker, strategist. But that ship can do everything. I'm very biased towards destroyers because we are missile launchers, missile defenders, anti-submarine warfare, cyber. We can do it all, essentially. Followed by that is USS Somerset, LPD-25. That is an amphibious landing platform dock where we operated with Marines. That mission was very interesting because that took me up to the Arctic. So we did a lot of stuff with the Marines in the Arctic to come back down and head to East Africa, which is, to me, was really outstanding because I grew up here, I had a river, let alone sailing all over the world. And then the most recent one was USS Thunderbolt. That was stationed in Bahrain in Naval Forces Central Command in the Middle East. I was the captain of that ship. It was a 179-foot gunboat. That ship was developed for special operations units back in the mid-90s. A little bit too big, so they brought it back to the Surface Navy. We took them there to do counter-drugs, counter-piracy, illicit traffickers, interceptions of things that we could help save more people and more things.
A big thank you to Navy Commander Thelmar Rosarda for this conversation on Tomorrowtown, Tennessee. This podcast is a production of News Channel 9, Fox Chattanooga, and Sinclair Broadcast Group Chattanooga. I hope you join me again real soon.